What's up, Eric?
Hello, yeah.
Strong name, I like it. All right, we're gonna play some Pop-A-Shot, but we're gonna mix it up. So, whenever you make one, you then have to shoot into the other person's hoop until you make one there, then go back to your hoop and back and forth every time you make one.
Yeah, okay.
All right?
Oh, no. Oh, that went.
Oh. Come on, there we go, okay. Ah!
6, 7.
There it goes. All right. Woo!
Oh, no.
Stop it!
That was 14. That was 14. Oh, no.
14. 15. 16. 16 for 18.
Are you kidding?
Eric got 15. Eric got 16. Are you kidding me?
Dude, well done. You are clearly the best, Eric.
Well, yeah, I think so, too.
If I were to say the Chicago Bulls, what words would come to your mind? Maybe words like dynasty, legends. Some of you might just think Michael Jordan. That's just the status and the reputation that team has in sort of our collective NBA mind. And they haven't even been terribly good in recent years, but they still hold this almost permanent status as an incredible basketball dynasty. And what's amazing to me is that if I asked a group of people that same question before 1984, the answer would probably have been something like, the Chicago who? So what changed? What could take a pretty nothing team from Chicago to one of the all-time greatest basketball dynasties in NBA history? The GOAT, Michael himself. And I don't want to get in a debate about Michael versus LeBron. I don't want to talk about how the remaking of Space Jam is an absolute Hollywood travesty. I just want to look at the fact that this one player and the effect he had on everyone who played alongside him completely revolutionized a basketball franchise. Some of you have probably seen ESPN 30 for 30s or The Last Dance on Netflix, so maybe you know the history. But just to get us all caught up on the major points, the Bulls were nothing. They drafted Michael Jordan in 1984, and from 1991 to 98, they won 6 NBA championships. That's right. For those struggling with math, they won 3 in a row. They had a couple rough years when Jordan went to play baseball randomly, and then they won 3 more in a row when he came back. That was the kind of impact Jordan had on the game. He was, in a word, a winner. And not only were the Bulls back then the most winning team in the NBA, Jordan had a way of not only being insanely talented, but pushing his whole team to be better, to win. And as we wrap up this series where we're not only looking at some basketball greats, we're really talking about how Jesus is the ultimate GOAT. If you've been with us the past few weeks, we've walked through how Jesus served everybody and told us to do the same. How he suffered and died on a cross, and how he did that to forgive all of us so that we could be reconnected with God. But if you leave the story there, it sounds like a tragic loss, doesn't it? I mean, if you close the book with Jesus still in the tomb, it's just like, wow, sad story, bro. But if you've been around church for any length of time, you know that's not where the story ends. You see, Jesus was crucified on a Friday, and a wealthy guy who was kind of a secret follower of Jesus got permission to take his body down and give him a proper burial so it wouldn't just sit out rotting in the sun and being eaten by birds and stuff. I know, nature is savage. And so on a Friday evening, they laid Jesus' body in a newly built tomb and they rolled a massive stone in front of it. And the disciples ran and locked themselves in a room, figuring that the Roman government would be coming for them next. And everyone who thought Jesus was going to be this ruler and savior who would set everything right again, they lost hope. And they spent the weekend weeping and wondering what's next. And then the sun started to rise on Sunday morning. The ground shook, the stone in front of the tomb rolled away, and Jesus walked out alive. And when the disciples got there to investigate, they found the cloths that Jesus' body was wrapped in just neatly folded off to the side. The Roman guards who were posted to watch the tomb had run off after passing out in front of an angel who showed up. There was no good explanation for what was going on except the one from the women who first encountered Jesus that morning. He was alive. And later that day, the disciples were back in their secret locked room, wondering what in the world was going on. And suddenly Jesus was there. He explained what was going on. He showed them the wounds in his hands and in his side, proving he wasn't just some look-alike. This wasn't some elaborate April Fool's joke. Jesus had really died and had really come back to life, which is the same thing he told his disciples was gonna happen over and over again. But it was just too unbelievable. Far more unbelievable than 6 championships in 8 years. Jesus had won the biggest battle humanity would ever face. There are a lot of reasons that Jesus is the GOAT. He served his disciples and continues to serve us today. He endured pain and suffering so that when we hurt, he can honestly say, I get it, I've been there. He forgives us even when we don't deserve it. He never gives up on us and never runs out of forgiveness. But if you ask me to name the one reason above all others that Jesus is the GOAT, I'd say it's because he wins. Jesus conquered sin and death that morning when he walked out of that tomb. The fate that awaited all of us, that we would be separated from our perfect God because of our sin and spend eternity without him. Jesus defeated that fate. He made it possible for us to be forgiven and to live forever with our God who loves us more than anything. I don't know where you stand on the whole Jesus thing right now, but I think there are a lot of compelling reasons to believe that Jesus is hands down the greatest of all time. I want you to head to your groups today and just have a simple conversation about what you'll do now that you know Jesus is absolutely the GOAT.